think he's dead. What am I going to do? Okay, there. I wasn't talking on the mic at all. Did you all see what I was doing? It was sort of like a silent film type thing.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming. I told him it wasn't funny.
He hated this idea. Okay.
Movie Nights with Dad. It was one bit funny.
I thought it was great. I thought it was hilarious.
I had a brilliant idea for a cold opening.
You did?
I told you. Yeah, I did. And you...
I don't think it was good.
You poo-pooed it.
We did mine. I did. I poo-pooed it.
Whatever.
Well, speaking of poo-poo, guys, Movie Nights with Dad, episode 46. we are continuing our series on classic standout performances by women for the month of August with Mildred Pierce starring Joan Crawford. And we're what am I doing here? If you're new here, I kind of forget like my little opening spiel sometimes, and I'm like, what do I do?
Suddenly we wake up. Where are we?
Yeah. So if you're new here, I always say that. If you're new here, Movie Nights with Dad is a podcast I do with my dad where we talk about the acting. We talk about, movies, usually classic films, because he's an actor. He's been acting forever, and we look at it from that angle and all that stuff. It's very fun. But if you are new here, we do spoil the movie all the way through. So if you don't want that to happen, get out of here. But if you're okay with that, that's all right. And for those of you returning, welcome. Thank you for being our fans and
thanks for coming back.
The podcast.
What are we? This is number 46.
46.
Wow.
Yeah, it's almost time to be done with this. I mean, we've been doing that.
We get to 50, we're out of here.
I'm just getting started. This is awesome. I'm having a good time.
What are we going to do for our 100th episode? We should start thinking.
Are you going to make it to 100?
Maybe it'll be I'll
be sitting in a graveyard just like next to you in a chair.
You are awful. I hope that doesn't come true.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Terrible.
You're getting too old to where those jokes aren't funny
and
anymore.
know what he's constantly telling me, saying things like old broads is not politically correct, yet he's talking about my demise, basically.
Your impending doom. Yeah.
Okay, back to Mildred Pierce.
Yeah. Mildred Pierce, 1945. This was Joan Crawford's comeback film. Yes. Where she had spent nearly two decades at MGM, but her contract wasn't renewed after a string of flops that she did. And so she kind of sat out for a couple of years and then, kind of campaigned hard for this role at Warner Brothers with Mildred Pierce.
Yeah. After she'd been with MGM, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, for 18 years, she kind of went in and said, I want some better roles. I want some, edgier roles, or I'm out of here. And so guess what?
Yeah.
Warner Brothers took a chance on her, brought her in. To be honest, I think she took a lot of roles that people like Bette Davis turned down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
sure. Well, I mean, just right off the bat, I think she was great in it, but I think I wanted to say that Michael Curtis, it's with a Z Curtis, at the end. It's almost like he's trying to be cool.
Yeah.
But he put a Z at the end. Yeah. Like, anyway, but he directed this 3 years after winning Best Director for Casablanca, which we covered in an earlier episode.
Right. And he did not, he didn't want Joan Crawford for this role. We've got the same ladies that are considered. Olivia de Havilland, who is going to be in one of our choices this month.
Next week.
The Heiress. Yep. Barbara Stanwyck, my all-time favorite. And then, of course, Bette Davis. They all passed on the role.
Wow.
Most of them, I think, were a little concerned about. Well, I don't know. I don't know for sure, but I think at this point in their careers, some of them balked at having to play mothers of an 18-year-old, 20-year-old girl.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Which Barbara Stanwyck had already played the mother of an older.
Yeah,
long ago.
That may have been like the publicized answer.
Yeah,
and maybe the actual answer was just they just didn't think the role fit for them, you know.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I heard that they like Joan Crawford and Michael Curtis really bickered a lot about this movie while shooting it. Is that true? Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I think it had to do with her perfectionism.
Okay.
And she was famously very, very caught up in how she looked on film all the time.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people said that, you know, she's supposed to be baking all these pies and everything. Have you ever baked pies? You know, or have you ever cooked very much?
It did feel like one of those like 50s sitcoms where like he goes, "Honey, I'm home," and she's like wearing pearls and stuff, and like while she's cooking, and it's like, no, who does that?
She's up on a ladder
with high heels.
She's up on a ladder polishing the light fixtures, and she looks beautiful with her, you know, shapely legs and her high heels. It just cracks me.
It's like, who would climb a ladder to clean a chandelier in high heels? Right. That's hilarious.
And so some of these elements are gonna come up when I talk about my opinion later. But
yeah, of course.
Anyway,
no, I thought that was funny. But yeah, I think, and to working with Joan Crawford, you know, Michael Curtis and her kind of bickered a lot, which I think perfectionists will just do that because they have their vision and it's often competing. But I think when they put those differences aside, they can make something really good like this.
And unfairly, a lot of those ladies who demanded perfection and demanded some things were labeled as troublesome or bitchy or whatever you want to say.
Right.
And they just wanted to put out a good product.
And they just, I mean, they just like a lot of like men in the industry are perfectionists and just want to put out a good product, but who are kind of labeled as like, oh, he just really cares. And you know, so.
And Joan Crawford was a hard worker. I mean, she'd been at this since the 20s. She was in silent films. She was a big, she was a great dancer, and the flapper age, she was kind of the young ingenue, the word you looked up in the flapper films.
If you look up that word, I'm the ingenue for this podcast.
Total ingenue. But she continues to reinvent herself all the time. By this time, she's in the shoulder pad, glamorous, you know, sort of noir stage of her life.
Do you happen to know if she was kind of fashion forward for her day? Like, did people kind of look at her and go, okay, that's what I need to look like? Do you think? Like, because there are some, like we talked about how the Beatles kind of were like that, where they kind of dressed further than, and then people kind of met them as the years went by. Do you think Joan Crawford was kind of like that?
I don't really know. To me, her look, and see, my prejudice against her is kind of shaped by that campy movie about her, which is so unfair.
What is that again?
Mommy Dearest, that her adopted daughter wrote about her.
Yeah.
Whether or not, you know, much of it was true, but you know, that
never seen it.
She's got all that lipstick and those eyebrows, and she looks very severe.
Oh, in this movie?
At this age. Well, she's still beautiful, don't get me wrong, but I'm talking like this era of her life, and especially as she progressed into the 50s, she's very severe looking. Again, still attractive, don't get me wrong, but like clearly trying to hold on to old Hollywood is what I think she was doing.
I see what you
mean. With the major, again, she still looked great.
Yeah.
But I mean, she'd been queen of the movies, you know, and then MGM let her go. And we talked about this during Philadelphia Story. Katharine Hepburn, Joan Crawford, there were several others on this list that were labeled box office poison.
Yeah.
Because their films had not done really well.
Crazy.
At the box office. And so, you know,
people didn't want to hire them.
Right. Early 40s she was labeled box office poison. So she's trying to reinvent herself, came to Warner Brothers, really took a lot of the leftovers that other actresses had turned down.
Yeah.
And this just happened to be a gem for her. So, yep.
Yeah, totally. So I want to talk about first impressions. Had you seen this before before we watched it for the podcast?
I had seen this, I want to say, in its entirety one time in my life. Right. But again, it's been so long. All these that I said I've seen before, it's been so long since I've seen them. Yeah. You know, I recognize things about it that I hadn't picked up on in the past.
This is my first Joan Crawford movie.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, this is my first experience with. I think so. Maybe I've watched something with her and I didn't realize it was her because I didn't know what she looked like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought this was good. I know that she won the Oscar for this. We kind of talked about this like off camera before.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah, behind the scenes for our prep work. But I think that the Oscar, I'm not saying she wasn't deserving. I think she did a good job. I kind of think it wasn't like a legendary performance or anything. Do you know what I mean? I think the Oscar came because of the backstory of it being her comeback to the industry. And I totally get that. I know the Oscars are super political and they look at stuff like that. But I don't know. What do you think about that?
Well, I had the same thought. I thought, man, after I watched it, I'm like, she won the Oscar for this.
Yeah.
I looked at some of the other performances. Some I was familiar with, and some I wasn't. That got nominated. But when I look back at and I actually ran back portions of the movie, she is still a heck of a good actress.
She is. Yeah.
And this had such a noir feel to it. Mm-hmm. You look at the heaviness of wrestling with what she was dealing with. You know, she was so entrenched in, I'll do anything I can for my kids.
Yeah.
I think she does a great job of portraying all of that. And I also think you can tell she was a silent film actress because she I don't know if you noticed how her facial expressions, eyes even, she tears up. I think somebody said famously she asked one time, did you want to tear for this scene, to the director? And he said yes, and she said, which eye?
That's crazy.
Which cracks
really
me up.
cool.
What do you mean which eye? Yeah, right.
How do you control that?
I don't know, but I guess she could do it.
Yeah.
But
well, I think a lot of if you don't know much about silent films, I mean, we kind of talked about it at length in Sunset Boulevard, and we covered a bunch of silent films early on. But the thing about silent film acting that people don't really understand is how subtle you have to be with your facial expressions almost. And here's what I mean. You obviously you play it up because you can't speak, but the subtle differences you use throughout a silent film movie is very important to conveying what's happening with your character. And I think that kind of training, you see it in Joan Crawford in this performance where every subtle movement of the face has a purpose, and it's trying to convey a specific emotion or an adjacent emotion or something like that.
So I mean, I'm not going to completely dismiss her and say no, she didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
I would have to see all the performances. How many times have I felt like that though, that somebody else should have won? And in the end, do awards matter? They don't matter at all.
Yeah.
But
it's true.
I just I kind of questioned that I was like, this was a little soap opera. Soapy,
you're not wrong. I think that, for example, when we talked about All About Eve and Sunset Boulevard, the past two movies we did, we talked about how those were released in the same year, and Gloria Swanson and Bette Davis were both nominated.
Yeah.
And, even, I forgot her name, the person who played Eve, what was her name in All About Eve?
Gosh, now you're
something. I'll
Anna Baxter.
That's right. And even she was, and it's that was such a powerhouse year. And so we just talked about that. And then you think of those are Oscar worthy, legendary performances. They all should have won. And then you think about maybe years like this where I don't know, but 1945. I don't know what kind of competition she had.
We got to look it up if we're okay. I'll look it up.
Go ahead. But
keep talking.
Yeah, I think that, I don't know. I think when you compare those kind of performances where like, you know, Gloria Swanson, one of the greatest performances of all time in Sunset Boulevard. Bette Davis, one of the greatest performances of all time in All About Eve. Comparatively to Mildred Pierce, it's a great performance. I don't think it's one of the greatest of all time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that kind of maybe dimmed our expectations a little bit of what, or sorry, increased our expectations of what an Oscar-worthy performance, quote unquote, is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so here's who was nominated with Joan.
Ahead.
Ingrid Bergman for The Bells of St. Mary's, Greer Garson for The Valley of Decision, Jennifer Jones for Love Letters, and Gene Tierney for Leave Her to Heaven.
I haven't heard of any of those movies.
I've only seen Bells of St. Mary's.
Okay. So maybe it was a competition thing too, where it was like maybe, but we also know Ingrid Bergman, we know Greer Garson. I didn't recognize the other names. But you still reading about it over there?
Well, I
you
just
look very in the moment right now. You're like,
I'm listening to you. I heard you. If I had to look at all those actresses, I mean, they were many of them had more acclaim than Joan Crawford for acting.
Yeah,
she was largely recognized for the way she looked. I'm not saying she wasn't a good actress.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I think she worked her tail off. I think she was a hard worker.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's just say that she deserved it for hard work.
Yeah.
And, you know, some of the scenes where she smacked Vita, that was good. She's like a double slap. Like, did she do like a, like that? You know, that was great.
You're like, I love the scene when she hits her kids.
Well, everybody wanted to take a slug at her. Didn't you want to beat the crap out of her? No. I mean, I did. Just because she was a spoiled brat. She needed to be whacked, man. Come on.
I got stuff to say about that later.
Anyway.
That's funny. Okay.
She needed to be hit.
You can't say that.
I'm saying it.
Good Lord.
She needed to be put in the corner. No. Time out.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. Jeez.
Are they gonna not watch?
You're not gonna be in the next episode because you're gonna get canceled. We're gonna have somebody else in here.
No, but I mean, you know, those kinds of scenes where like I think she slapped her mom too. I think Anne Blythe.
You're just talking about the catharsis of like.
No,
finally,
I'm talking
she got
about
what
how that was a very real scene. Like Anne Blythe whacked Joan Crawford on the stairs too.
Yes.
Knocked her down.
Yeah.
And when she tore the check up.
Yeah.
And that was pretty real. I mean, there were just a lot of real, genuine, stellar acting parts in that. But yeah, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it again. Everybody want to take a whack at
She's a
Vita.
child. What do you mean?
She's 18. She knew better.
She was 16.
I don't care. She knew better than to be a little snot that she was.
Let me say real quick, Anne Blythe. I wanted to talk about this. So
she just died.
She just died.
She
really?
just died. Yep.
Let me look it up.
She was 17 years old when she played Vita.
16. I thought it was 16. Hold on. Oh, 17.
Yeah.
Well, still, that's a child. So I think
old enough to know better.
Probably shouldn't hit kids. So
just one little smack's not going to hurt her.
Anne Blythe is. I wanted to say, Offset described Joan Crawford as the kindest, most helpful human being I've ever worked with.
Oh yeah.
And so I wanted to kind of juxtapose that against Michael Curtis, who said they struggled a lot during filming and stuff like that.
I think a lot of guys thought Joan Crawford was rough
because she was a perfectionist, like what you said, with women are treated harsher with that. Yeah. No, that makes sense. I think, well, so let's talk about that. So just the experience of like being a woman in 1945. Mildred, what?
Go ahead.
Okay.
We're such authorities on being women in 1945.
Yeah, we know what's up. So, and because of that, Mildred climbs out of being completely broke, right, on her own as a divorced housewife. Yeah. What did you think about the film's framing of this? And I don't know, did her like effort and how hard that was at that time, do you think that was portrayed well? Like, what did you think about that?
The portrayal of her hard work?
Yeah.
Was that portrayed well?
Yes, I guess. Yeah. And her effort and thing. I don't know. So why not? Yeah. Go into that.
I mean, come on. She's baking pies in her kitchen and she's, just we already talked about it, but she's,
well, not even just like, okay, when I say portrayed, I don't mean like, how did it look? I meant like the story wise, you know, like how.
No, I think there needed to be some more like, you know, like sweating where she's wiping her brow and like maybe the restaurant that she bought that had been not repossessed, but you know, what's the word I'm looking for?
Foreclosed.
Yeah. I think that should have been like maybe a dump or something, you know?
Yeah. Not this beautiful house.
Yeah. And plus she had paid helper.
Yeah.
You know,
no, that was, I think like,
what's her name? Prissy from Gone with the Wind was in there.
Right. Where you're kind of, okay.
Which is not a good look.
No, it was that's the only problematic thing about this
film. 1945.
You were 1945, you know.
But no, I don't think there was, and I'm segueing right into if I directed it. If I directed it, I think that I would have shown a little more of the hard Scrabble stage. Because you know how films like any, if you see any biopics, for instance, the one on Bob Dylan, the one on Loretta Lynn. I'm thinking way back when I was a kid.
They all have a scene where they're in the studio and they play a riff, and then somebody goes, "Wait, do that again." And then they record it, and it's like a
musicians. Yeah. Okay, but they look as though it's just like an overnight success.
Yeah,
I think that if
that's how it felt. Yeah,
I think that if we had time in the movie to show a little bit of Mildred, you know, scraping for it.
Yeah.
You know, I think it would be more realistic.
I agree. I think that like it kind of made her decision to have a restaurant and all that stuff seem like a choice and less like she had to do this. Like I feel like the idea of a woman being divorced in 1945, I mean, she's not trained for anything. She has no like skills to go into the workforce because she wasn't expected to. She was expected to be married her whole life, and now she has no options. And so that's a really scary place to be. Yeah. You know, and I think that was kind of not really touched into a whole lot. And that might have been because of the societal conventions of that time, because we didn't really think of like the inner lives of women back then, I think in 1945. And so I don't know. I think, yeah, like you said, the framing could have been better where they kind of like show more of the grit it would take and the immense sacrifice she would have had to done to you know, get to that point.
And so therefore, like it would have even made everybody hate Vita more and want to smack her a second time because she was like, I can't believe my mother's a waitress. I can't believe my mother bakes pies. Yeah. You know, I mean, if there had been a little more grit there, I think the whole thing with not liking Vita would have, because that added to the film. Let's face it.
It did,
I mean, everybody hated her.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you're kind of supposed to. I think you were supposed to, but I think I watched it a little differently, and I'll talk about that later. But I think you were supposed to hate Vita. Vita is the villain, of course. Yeah. But like it is, I don't know. It's interesting to me that a child who was raised in a certain way was made to be the villain of the movie. And you kind of go like, is it? Yeah. Anyway,
they always blame the parents.
There you go.
Blaming the parents again.
Always. It's your fault. No. So with that, I think let's talk about the ending of this film. Not that that's the last thing we're going to talk about, but so, you know, she has all this struggle. There's this growth and things like that. And, you know, like Vita, like, gets arrested and all that stuff, even though she tried to protect her. The film ends with Mildred walking away with Bert, her first husband. And so when we see this ending, what are we to conclude about Mildred's story, her growth, and like all the things she experienced throughout the movie?
Well, I always liked Bert.
You did? Okay.
I always liked Bert.
Yeah. Even though he cheated on her?
Well, I mean, you know, I didn't.
You're like, he had a secretary. That's not cheating.
It's not a secretary. It was that old lady, Mrs. What's her name?
I thought he had a secretary.
No. You know when Kay got sick and they brought her into Mrs. What's her name's house? That's his mistress. He was kind of a kept man.
She wasn't an old lady.
Well, you know,
she's the same age as like Mildred.
Oh, I think she's a little older than Mildred.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
My bad. I thought it was a secretary kind of thing.
No.
Oh, all right.
So that I don't know. I would think I would have unpacked that relationship a little bit more, but I think that he was ashamed of his choices, you know, and where he'd gotten to in life, and, you know, unable to make a living with his job and all that. So the reason I liked him is because I'm going back to Vita, but the reason I liked him is because he was
he's like,
he wanted to take a smack at Vita. No, he was realistic about her. He's like, quit spoiling that kid.
Yeah, he was.
Quit doing that.
Correct. Yeah.
You know,
but I didn't like that I mean, for whatever it was, maybe if we unpack it, I think it was like an emotional affair, at least, you know, with
I'm not saying it was anything.
Beater, what's her name?
Beaterhoffen.
Beaterhoffen. That's right.
I don't think I do it that often.
But yeah, so no, I think out of the men in her life, he's probably the most likable.
Yeah.
But I that's another thing too. The men that she is even somewhat romantically involved with are very like not the best guys. Like, like Wally is kind of scuzzy the whole time, like just trying to be like,
scuzz,
hey,
man.
You know, and then
I kind of liked him though too. I just
because you felt
kind of funny.
Yeah, right. He was a comic relief, and he was also like just kind of himself the whole time.
Yeah,
you know. But still, it was just, you know. Anyway,
it seems like Wally and Mildred and Bert were all products of how they got brought up, and they were sort of lower class, trying to make something of themselves.
Yeah.
Bert had tried to get into real estate and do better. You know, Wally eventually buys a dive bar or whatever. And but I think to me the ending symbolized kind of a starting over. Mildred was left with nothing, yet I don't know that she lost her career or anything. I mean, they implied that, but why would she? You know,
I don't think so.
I don't think she would.
No, I think it's more of like at the end, she just like walks out with Bert.
Yeah.
But it's like,
so it's kind of a rebirth there.
Yeah.
And maybe now Vita's going to get, being young, I can't think that she would go to prison for many, many years or anything.
Yeah.
I think that maybe they're kind of starting over together.
Yeah.
And, you know, Mildred says, I can't believe Bert would have shot, what's his name? Monty. Was his name Monty?
Yeah.
It would have shot Monty. He's so kind. He's so good. He's so, and Bert coming back has kind of proven to Mildred that he was sorry for his actions in the past. And, so
true.
I don't know. I just think it kind of symbolized, of course, everybody's like on a certain level, you're like, oh yeah, Mildred and Bert are going to remarry now. And you know, she's going to give him a job managing her restaurants.
Yeah.
And they're going to be a team. And
it kind of like, and I think that, I don't think it takes away from her growth. But it did feel a little bit of a slight where it was like, you know, she did all this stuff on her own and like worked through it and everything. And then now she's just back to the same guy, like square one. Really? It felt a little bit like that. But at the same time, he had also grown. You could tell. You
could also look at it this way. Bert should have been involved from the beginning. I mean, marriage is a team.
Yeah.
Marriage is he had some hard luck with real estate. Mm-hmm. She could have said, hey, guess what? I'm making some money on these pies and cakes and everything. And what about this restaurant? They could have gotten together and worked together. Yeah. So there's just a lot of ways to look at it.
Right.
You know?
So maybe there. But speaking of the men in her life, and you mentioned him, Monty Barragan. But they say Monty Barragan, like in the transatlantic accent. Yeah. I love the trailing off, like, because to me it's Monty Barragan,
transatlantic,
but it's Monty Barragan. I put he's charming, useless, and ultimately catastrophic for Mildred. Because he doesn't have a job or anything. He just kind of what'd you make of Monty, and why do you think Mildred kept going back to him? You know. Because he's the total opposite of Bert.
Well, I think initially, you know, he's a wealthy guy, or formerly wealthy guy. Yeah, probably still has access to money. I don't know. Was he kind of like blackballed by his family or something? Or I don't
remember. I think it was left intentionally ambiguous. Yeah, but I know he had like stocks, and he had like investments and things like that.
Anyway, he came from wealth. He came from breeding. He came from a background that Mildred was not familiar with.
Yeah.
And
Old
therefore
money.
his wanting her was very flattering to her. I think she quickly found out what a jerk he was.
Yeah.
When she got successful, she's like hit the road.
Yeah.
But then she went back to him. The reason that she went back to him was to get Vita to come back to her.
Yeah. Yeah. Toward the end, correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're asking, I don't know that she was probably charmed and infatuated with him at the beginning. Yeah. I think was a certain amount of status to her.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But
no, that's good. I kind of Monty's the slimiest of them all. But yeah, I liked that he kind of represented this, like, he kind of felt unstable in a way that Mildred's life felt unstable during that period of time.
Definitely.
And I think he just like added to that. And I think that's what they were trying to show, and it's kind of like, I love how they shot it in a way where you were like, why did this guy die? And then as the movie goes on more and more, you go like, I see why.
Everybody wanted to take a whack at Monty.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to smack Vita and shoot Monty.
That's crazy. Okay.
Might as well go for broke here.
Yeah, right. Yeah, let's fully get canceled this episode. Okay. Last thing I want to ask you about, the murder mystery noir, that framing wasn't in the book. The book that this is based on was just this drama about like hardship and, coming out of that and everything in relationships. Do you think that this style in the framing was the right choice, or what do you think about that?
At the time, yes, because a lot of people were going for all that noir melodrama stuff.
Yeah.
I do think I would have liked to have seen how they shot the movie without that.
Yeah.
Like maybe it was just simply she rejects Monty, asks him back, and then finally, she has him hit the road in the end. Just I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if that would have given it the movie a chance to build up the characters and make them a little more solid.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. What did you think?
Well, if I directed it, perfect segue. This is my if I directed it. Yeah. I'd take away the murder framing and you could still make it noir. You could still do that. Like I love the cinematography in this film is fantastic. I love the way it's shot. Yeah. I love that noir, like the shadows and everything is so like fun. And you're just like, oh, that's so, because I feel like that's such a science experiment to try and figure out with the lighting and everything. And it's very cool to me.
My question is this: if we were to take that murder mystery spot out of the movie, how would you tie up things with Vita? How would you finally say, "Kid, you're on your own"?
Yeah, I think
that was probably the purpose of the whole thing.
I think that that's what I'm saying is like, what if we had a moment where Mildred does have to, because she never has to do that. She never has to eventually communicate to Vita because Vita's taken away from her. Essentially, it's almost like Mildred recognizes that she failed.
Oh, okay.
And we don't really see like a dialogue kind of explaining that.
Well, we briefly though, Mildred said, "I'm sorry, Vita, I can't do anything else."
But I think it wasn't a choice on Mildred's part. Does that make sense to let Vita go? She communicated, "I'm sorry," like that things ended up this way, and stuff like that. But how much harder would that hit if Vita wasn't being taken away, but Mildred said, "You have to get out." Like, because I can't be here anymore with you.
I don't know that Mildred would have been able to do that.
Yeah.
And that's probably why the whole murder thing where she had no choice.
It felt a little, here's what I'll say. I think this story has enough emotional moments and really good like dialogue and everything to stand on its own. I just think the noir murder structure felt a little forced at times. I think they kind of kept going back to it almost like as a cop-out to add some drama that wasn't actually needed because this story has enough drama to stand on its own. But I still liked it. I still, I think it was a good movie. I liked the noir, like murder mystery kind of side to it.
Yeah.
But if I could change one thing, I'd like to see what would happen if we did that. If we wrapped it up in a different way where it was more of a choice to be like letting you go instead of, all that. Yeah. I don't know.
I'm still asking you, what would you do? Would you send her off to camp? What would you do with her? Would you send her off to military
I think
school?
you would communicate, you can't live here anymore. You have to go somewhere else because you can't be here anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that choice is more devastating because Vita's not being taken away. Mildred is pushing her away.
Okay.
And I think that choice really solidifies the growth that Mildred has where she recognizes, oh man. Like
what
Vita
would have been the
not,
final straw though, you think?
I have no idea.
I guess it would have been finding out that she's
you could still have that.
Kissing on Monty.
You could still have that beat.
But I also think, and here's one of the moments in the movie that I thought probably earned Joan Crawford the Oscar when she goes and sees Vita dancing in whatever his name. I'm losing his name now. Not what was the slimy friend's
Monty Bergen?
name? No, the slimy friend's name.
Wally Faye?
Wally. Yeah, Wally.
There's so many slimy people.
There's so many slimy people. When she goes in to Wally's restaurant and sees Vita dancing and singing.
Oh, that's Wally's restaurant?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Okay, continue.
Yeah.
I think I missed that.
That was a really great moment where she was just oh my gosh, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I've caused her to do this.
Uh-huh.
That's why I have a problem thinking that she would ever be able to turn Vita out. Especially since Kay passed away.
Well, and I don't, and that's the thing is like, I don't even know if turning Vita out is the right move. I don't even know if I agree that is the solution. I'm just saying as a conclusion, it feels more ambiguous and heartbreaking than just being like off to jail. I'm sorry, but I don't know. What was if you directed it? What would you change about this movie if you had one thing you could change?
Like I said, I think I'd show a little more. I'd spend a little more time showing Mildred in the hardscrabble stage.
Okay, yeah, sure. That's good.
Show a little bit more of how she, and that might be boring. I don't know.
Yeah.
Movies do not tend to spend a lot of time on that transition.
Yeah.
I just think it's
I think
and maybe
80s,
that's part of movie magic. I don't know.
I think of 80s montages where they're like, this person trained for a year and they're like, dun, 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 dun,
right.
Where it's kind of like the cheap cop out version of that. But that's essentially what you're talking about.
Show the restaurant opening up with few customers at first. It doesn't catch on.
Yeah.
And then something happens.
Right. It's not instantly successful. Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
So
yeah,
I don't know.
That's good.
That's probably what I do.
Yeah. Well, Dad, why don't you take over and tell us about the actors in this movie?
Okay.
And what you thought of them and all that good stuff.
We've talked extensively about Joan Crawford, but this performance revived her career.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, she got the Academy Award. She, I think we've established after we talked ourselves into it, why she deserved the Oscar. I think that her performance, she did a great job of balancing that determination, but the vulnerability. And then also really, I mean, she showed a lot of like obsession, basically. She was able to do all of that, but still make audiences sympathetic toward Mildred.
Yeah.
Even when they're sitting there going, you're making some bad decisions. You're making up, you're creating a monster by treating your kid like this, that kind of stuff. Anne Blythe, like we said, who recently passed away, she was 98, 99. She was very young, probably one of the greatest performances of a teenage actress that I can remember in some of those early films.
Yeah.
Vita is just manipulative and cruel and just a really nasty piece of work. But I like how Anne Blythe, and I like to think that she was directed well, coached. She could have been in such an over-the-top melodrama, a little cartoony, which she was not.
Right.
She was for a 16, 17-year-old girl, she was incredibly mature in this role. And so she totally deserved. She got a Best Supporting Actress nod. She did not get the win. I did think Zachary Scott as Monty, this is probably his signature role. I don't really remember him from anything else. Well, as I sit here and say this is a signature role, I can't tell you any, but I've seen him before. He had the right look. He was just handsome and charming enough that audiences could understand Mildred being attracted to him, and Vita too. Yeah. But he still played that slime ball really well. Charming, but morally questionable. Yeah. I think he did a great job at that one. I still kind of, the gunshot scene where Vita shoots him. Mildred. It's a little bit funny to me. Mildred. That was, it was, and so I have moments like that in. You always laugh at the wrong stuff. In noir. I mean, I'm like, oh brother, here we go. I'm gonna go ahead right to my scene stealer. Go ahead. Are you ready? Take it. Eve Arden as Ida. I love Eve Arden. Yeah. This was her only supporting actress, the only Oscar nomination ever in her career. She'd been around a long time. She always played that wisecracking, gum chewing type lady. Very classy. She didn't mess around. Very classy. Statuesque. I always thought very beautiful. Yeah. When she's in a movie, she's a secret weapon. She was in a movie in the 30s called Stage Door with Lucille Ball and Katharine Hepburn and Ginger Rogers and all these great upcoming, I mean, they were already well-known actresses. Yeah, that's cool. I don't think I knew about that. She's always very wisecracking, quick wit. Yeah. She's great. She was a prolific television star as well. She was in a lot of TV. But she's a secret weapon in the movies. Always had that dry wit. She always brings in relief to a scene. And this story was rather dark. It was, right. Some of her lines were, I can't recall any of them, but some of her lines were just so hilarious. Yeah. Which was needed in this movie to kind of ground it. Yeah. And she delivered. Every scene she's in becomes immediately more entertaining. And that's why I think she's my scene stealer. 100%. Yep. Cool. Well, my scene stealer was Anne Blythe. Oh. Because I thought it was crazy that she was only like 16, 17. Because, oh my gosh, she killed it. Like, I think Joan Crawford kind of like drives the movie along, obviously being the main character and stuff, but like Anne Blythe, her ability to morph from like this, like lovable, like daughter, just very standard, 50s home or 40s home or whatever. And then she has this almost like villainous, chilling, like cold presence. And it was, like you said, it could have easily been cartoonish. It could have been played up, and she did a fantastic job for her. Like, not even just for her age, she did a fantastic job, and it's crazy that she was a child. Filming this, it was so good. And with her, she makes her character very believable. Yeah. Instead of merely just this person we hate all the time. Yeah. But when she walked into a scene, she shifted that scene, because usually we were going, oh, Vita, and she did that, like that, and to be such a young actress, she made you want to take a shot at her, give her one of these knuckle sandwich. Listen, we don't endorse violence on this podcast, even though Dad's going back Vita. To that. No. All right, casting swap. Barbara Stanwyck as Mildred. Cool. I keep bringing her up. Good old Barbara. She's your fave. She's my fave. You have to. She played Stella Dallas in the 30s, which we really need to look at. We need to do a whole Barbara Stanwyck. We need to do a whole 6 months of Barbara Stanwyck. I'm down. Or we need to just have like Barbara Stanwyck, like do one every month. We'll hang up a poster of Barbara Stanwyck just in the back. I love that gal. Just be like, hey. She's fantastic. Yeah. But anyway, I've seen her play mothers before. Again, she's one of the first actresses as a younger lady to play a mother of an older, But I think it would have been cool to see her play Mildred. She's just a tough lady. She would have played it differently. She wouldn't have been. I felt like Mildred. I feel like Joan Crawford was always like, oh. I don't think Barbara Stanwyck would have. She's one that doesn't come to tears easily.
Would have brought some resolve.
Yeah,
to the character. That's cool.
She would have brought a whole different energy level to
I agree.
Mildred.
Yeah. No, cool.
There you go.
I picked for Monty Barragan. I picked Michael B. Jordan. Because I think you need someone who is attractive and alluring, and also kind of warm in a way, but then who can also just slip into like villainous and slimy kind of like. I think he's got the range to pull off that spectrum.
Yeah, he would have really done a good job.
Yeah, I mean, I just think of his performance in Sinners most recently. I went and watched where he played the twins and killed it. He's just, I mean, he's obviously like one of the guys right now. Like he's one of the main, actors nowadays. But yeah, I think he would have been great in a role like that where it has a lot of range, where you kind of are like, oh, look at this guy. She's falling in love with, and then slimy. Well, yeah. Do you have anything else from like the acting or anything that you want to bring up before we move on?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, all right. I'm going to start with my hot take because mine is unpopular opinion.
Okay.
Vida isn't to blame for how she ended up. And I think so I wrote this out and I just want to read it.
Okay.
But I said a kid doesn't become obsessed with status and wealth all on their own.
That is true.
Right? From what we see, I mean, maybe it could have been implied. Neither of her parents made any effort to not only teach her that status and wealth don't matter, but to show her what does matter in contrast, right? It's like Mildred's whole thing was like, I don't want them to grow up without, it's like, which any parent would relate to. I think they want the best for their kids. And she tried, but she didn't instill this with like, hey, not many of these people get these opportunities and I want you to have them. And these are important, but they aren't everything. Like the, having lots of money, having like a great dress for the next thing or whatever. Like it's not the thing that's important. What is important is who you are, your character, all that kind of stuff. And we don't really see that communicated. It's just Mildred's just kind of like, I have this new dress for you. Here's some new lessons. Here's news, all this stuff. And, so I think the film kind of paints Vida as a spoiled brat who gets what she deserves. And I kind of think that she's more of a tragic character because she's the result of like, maybe like kind of neglectful parenting because you're not, if you're missing out on like what really matters and displaying that to your kid, then like, and then I also grooming. She's a result of grooming. Like Monty totally saw her as a, cause we get this idea that she's growing up, even though she's obviously the actress is the same age while shooting this, but she's growing up into like an adult woman. Monty totally flirted with her as a young girl and then kind of grabbed her when she, is entering adulthood. And that's evil. That's villainous. And I think that she's kind of blamed because she's the spoiled brat or whatever. And so now, and I was just like, I don't know. I don't think she's to blame for ending up like that. I think she was the villain, right? I think she said horrible things to her mom. No one should ever speak like that to anybody, but we got to look at where it came from.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
I'm stepping off my soapbox now.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I had a couple of, I always like to defend the hated character. Yeah. But I also said a few things about unpopular opinion. Okay. Of course, Burt Pierce is looked on as a layabout, Lothario, whatever you want to call him.
Lothario.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
Sort of a wandering.
It sounds like a fictional character.
No, he's like sort of a wandering, lover of all women or something.
Sounds like a version of Mario that's lethargic. Lothario.
Anyway, I think I want to say Burt Pierce deserves more sympathy than he gets.
Okay.
He's far from perfect. He's immature, of course, makes plenty of mistakes, but he's one of the few people who recognizes what Vita is becoming long before Mildred does, even if it's not Vita's fault.
Yeah. I understand.
Nearly every warning that he gives to Mildred about Vita proves to be correct in the end.
Yeah, right.
He's kind of the moral, even though it's kind of funny that he steers the moral direction of the film a little bit, even though he's, he's sort of a kept man with Mrs. Vanderhoff, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
Mildred has spent all this time enabling Vita. Bert sees the damage way back when. He talks about it a long time ago, and the movie proves him right. So I think that that is why they chose to end it the way they did with Bert coming in at the end. I also think that if some people look at this movie, they're like, oh yeah, it's a murder mystery. I think that's not the most important part of the film. I think this is unpopular opinion.
No, keep going. Yeah.
I think that it is really more about the toxicity that is created by poor parenting.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I like that take.
Yeah. What you really remember about the film, if you don't watch it for a long time, is how detrimental parenting choices can be to a kid, in the end.
No, that's good.
So, yep.
Cool.
That's that.
All right. Well, as we get into some of our closing stuff here, what is your double feature pick for this film? What would you pair it with for a perfect movie night?
There is a movie that I would say Joan Crawford probably deserved an Oscar for. She did get a nomination for it, I think. It's called The Autumn Leaves.
Okay.
1956. She is an older lady who...
Any relation to the jazz song Autumn Leaves?
No. Yeah.
There is?
They wrote that song, or the song was written and played in that. Well, I mean, Nat King Cole sang it in the movie.
Oh. In a little aside. Yeah. La, la, la. If anybody knows anything about playing jazz, there's this thing called the Real Book, which has all the jazz standards. That's in there.
That's it.
Autumn Leaves.
Yeah. So that was in there. But anyway, Joan Crawford played this 1956 older lady. She befriends this younger man who she does not know is mentally ill.
Yeah.
He falls in love with her, and she becomes devoted to him. It was just a really good story.
Cool.
I think she deserved an Oscar for that.
One of her better performances.
And I think she got nominated. I could be wrong.
Okay.
If she didn't, she should have been. And I think it's a better performance. However, she's older. She's about 10 years older than she was when she did Mildred. And I just thought, if you're going to be in a Joan Crawford, of course, you can pair this one with any of these movies that we've done before, All About Eve, or The Heiress coming up, or of course, Sunset Boulevard. All these strong women characters there's a ton of them.
Yeah.
But if you're in a Joan Crawford mood, I think The Autumn Leaves is not one of the movies that she is remembered for as much. But Humoresque is another one that she was great in.
Yeah. I picked one that she's in that I haven't seen, but I thought would be a good pairing. Sudden Fear. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yep.
Just because it's noir, and then Bruce Bennett's in that, who played Bert in this. So that's
she generally
a natural follow up.
She generally, if she worked with people that she got along with well, and honestly, who didn't mess with her.
Yeah,
of course, as far as like,
if you're a perfectionist,
go against her. Yeah, what she wanted, sense. She liked to have people, back.
Yeah. Gotcha. Cool.
Yep.
Well, what would you rate this, and then how would you recommend this film to somebody?
I rated it 9 out of 10 because I think that it is really a super rich drama that has the disguise of film noir over it.
Yeah.
Film noir thriller.
Yes.
And I do think that it is one of Joan Crawford's greatest performances. But yeah, I had to rethink that because my initial thought was, wow, was that really her best? And then you kind of go back and unpack it and you're like, yeah. I would recommend it, of course, to, film historians, classic Hollywood enthusiasts, of course, people who want to watch strong female performances.
Yeah.
Any kind of anyone looking at like family drama, psychological depth. This one does have some pretty strong modern themes in it. I think that, it would appeal to people who were looking for that.
That's great. I gave it an 8 out of 10. Just because I felt the noir felt like the murder framing felt a little too heavy at sometimes, but it's still really good. I said, if you like classic noir mystery, this is a drama that fits really well into that subgenre.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
Yep. Cool. All right. Well,
is that it?
We're at the end. Yeah. This is kind of a shorter episode, but that's okay.
Was it a short? Are we at an hour yet?
Not exactly, but it'll be okay.
How close are we? Should we talk a little bit longer?
Yeah, guys.
Should we talk about how shocking?
How's your weekend been?
Should we talk about how shocking Vita's behavior is even to this day?
Even to this day?
Yep.
Is that in your notes or something?
Yeah.
It sounded like you read that.
I did.
That's okay. No, we'll just end it. They don't need to listen to us anymore.
Should we mention how well the noir opening hooks the audience? That's why they open with that.
Where was this? When I mentioned that
These
before.
are my extra notes. I have extra notes.
Lazy. I'm just kidding.
Should we compare Mildred's entrepreneurial drive?
Nope. Bye, guys.
With the emotional blind spot she has regarding her daughter?
Guys, thank you for watching. For next week, we're going to continue.
Should we ask whether Vita was born selfish or whether Mildred unintentionally created the monster she became? And should we give Eve Arden some appreciation because she quietly steals the scene she's in? Well, anyway, my son has left. I had to keep going because I thought it would be funny.
That was a good bit. That was better.
I had to cover up for your cold opening.
That was better than our cold open. All right, guys.
Just kidding.
Next week, we're watching The Heiress, 1945 with Olivia de Havilland.
1949.
49, my bad. 1949 with Olivia de Havilland. That we're continuing classic standout performances by women. She was in Gone with the Wind, which we reviewed back, I think it was January of this year.
A long time ago.
But yeah, watch that for next week. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you, folks.
Like, subscribe, comment down below. Our email is movienightswithdad@gmail.com if you want to
email
talk to
us. We'd like to talk to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Talk to me. We haven't gotten a single email yet. Isn't that funny?
Don't tell that. We need to act like I'm
going to keep saying that.
We can't keep up with the emails.
I need water.
Keep emailing us.
Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. Thank you, Dad, for being here.
We're at an hour now almost.
Do you want to keep going?
Thank you, son. I do love you, and I'm sorry I've been such a pain in the neck.
I love you too, Dad, even though you are a pain in my neck.
Caveat.
See you guys later.
Bye, everybody.